Let's discuss. Hey everyone, it's Rachel back again with another video, and today I'm going to be checking out a new single from The Plot and You called Forgotten. I saw them play this live a few months ago when I went to see them on their headlining tour, and it sounded fantastic. I don't really think that, hearing something live for the first time is quite the same as hearing the recorded version for the first time, so I am excited to watch the music video and all of that, but I do know I'm probably going to love this based off of how it sounded live. I will link the music video I'll be using in the reaction portion of this, as well as all of the band's social media in the description of this video. Thank you very much to Fearless Records for getting this over to me in time to sort the video out for release. All that being said, I'm going to stop talking and we are going to get straight into it. The videos are very for these two singles. Oh.
The children of the sky. This is to the men who wish death upon my name, tried to push me to my grave, swore I'd never fucking die. Sacrifice, sleepless nights, wasted time, a wicked fight. Time it made me heartless. Skyless, now shine. When this time it gave me everything. Lost everything myself without anything. Until my heart stops beating. This is for my friends who put needles in their veins, who society erased. The children of the sky. This is to the men who wish death upon my name, tried to push me to my grave, swore I'd never fucking die. I have spent my life chasing things that have only brought me pain. In the end, when I'm dead, hope it was for something.
Oh.
But poison in their veins, who society degrades, hope their children can escape. This is to the men who wish death upon my name, tried to push me to my grave, swore I'd never fucking die.
Ooh. Whew. The Plot and You, Forgotten. Let's discuss. I loved the track live, but I definitely think some parts translate better on this version. It can be hard to catch everything at a show, but it is a great experience to experience something live. The first time I actually heard Immolation of Night by Invent Animate, I saw it live at one of their headlining shows last December, and it was kind of that same feeling where when I listened to the recorded version, it was a different experience, but that live experience was something I will hold on to forever, certainly. But with this track, there is this feeling of like meeting with the sounds. It's got that heavy, disgusting type of edge, and Landon's solo stuff, I don't think he's really lightened up on that at all. But for people who don't listen to that and focus on The Plot and You on their own, this kind of will probably give them some, flashbacks to older plot material. The way that chorus comes in would be a great example of just how destructive sounding some of this is. His vocals have a very identifiable sound, and this is just like turned all the way up, I think. And looking at these 3 singles, I'm not sure if this is, I'm pretty sure I saw somewhere in an interview or something that these are 3 songs that were written to be standalone. So I think at first people were, inquiring about an album and stuff. I don't think that's the case. But when you look at these 3 singles, you look at Left Behind and this track, I think this kind of brings over some qualities. Obviously, the visuals I mentioned, they line up, and it seems to kind of match that idea that these may be 3 standalones. Not that singles off an album can't have that, but it would make sense, I think. But the heaviness, is obviously there in this track, but there are also things like the synth, some of that stuttery stuff in even the heaviest moments that drive like that catchiness, or a bit of what newer plot has felt like, I think, compared to some of the older stuff in their discography. That's been present for quite a while now, though. But with this, it just feels much different. These 3 tracks are probably my favorite of the newer material that they've put out in the last few years or so. But it's never been really an album that they've put out where there's been nothing that's landed for me. That's just not how it's went down. I know everything is different for everyone, but for me, I've really enjoyed each chapter that we've gotten from Plot. But I love that this one feels like that, this sort of like, certain things remind me of their newer stuff, and then certain moments remind me of some of their older stuff. I really enjoy that personally. This has a very like heavy, in a different meaning, lyrical context. When you listen to, again, if just using the chorus as an example on its own, that kind of gives you what you need there. This is just going to be something that goes right onto my playlist, and I'll end up adding both of the other singles, which I loved both of them. I think Divide would be my favorite of the singles, but I really love Left Behind, and it's like this close. I think it probably would even depend on the day. Seeing Divide live, though, and going to the Divide tour, it was amazing. I won't go too far into that since, we're focusing on Forgotten. I am glad to see this release. I know Landon mentioned that there were some issues getting it released before they played it at the show. Mentioned that there were some issues. They wanted to release it before tour. That didn't happen. And then I was kind of wondering what might be going on and all of that, but now we have it, and the vocal performance, as always, is a huge draw for me here. Not just the vocals I'm talking about that are like, so low and so brutal sounding like in that chorus, but also if you pay attention to the vocals leading into that like big ass breakdown, I think somewhere around the 2-minute mark or something, but there is just so much emotion that's expressed in that style, and it's a bit different than the aggression that comes through in other parts, but a little bit of variation there, different sorts of, I guess, tapping into like different emotions in the way that those are delivered, and then that breakdown on that is probably one of my favorites of theirs. The snare in the breakdown is definitely a huge draw for me. Re-listening to the track, I'm going to be looking for that on. I guess that's like one of the things that signifies to me like this is probably one of your favorite parts of the song, is when I go back into my next listen and I'm looking for that. Definitely going to be paying attention to like that first line specifically of the chorus, the way it kind of comes in and just feels a bit different there. And then I'm going to be looking at that breakdown as a whole, but also for that snare, because that was something that just, I love that. So for me, this is going to be something that I really enjoy, put on repeat. There's not anything I would want different with this, especially given the other 2 tracks that came with it. It feels like we got a variety from Plot of their sound, and I don't think that there's anything that I want more from them than something like that, because like I mentioned, for me, I know Dispose was a point where some people really didn't click with that album and some people did. I very much did. I still have a bunch of Dispose merch that is too big for me and stuff, but I really enjoyed that release cycle. I think I covered the next release cycle on my channel. I very much enjoyed that as well, though there were some parts of it that I didn't click with as much as others. It's still something when I go back and listen to the record in full, there's nothing that I dislike or that I'm like, oh, I wish, I wouldn't really like revisit this or anything like that. So that for me is kind of rare, especially when a band, I've been listening to them for such a long time. Sometimes it kind of is like just going separate ways or growing out of them. That's just never happened for me with Plot. And going to see them on the Divide tour, they had a set list that I could not have asked for more, especially because they played Take Me Away and Trolls, and then I got to hear the new stuff live. So I was very happy walking away from that. I thought that the set list really kind of appealed to like newer and older Plot fans, and for people like me who just kind of enjoy all around their discography. So I am very happy with this. I am going to look into, I think once this is officially released tomorrow, we'll be able to tell whether that was true or not, that this is 3 singles that were written together, intended to be standalones. Even if that is the case, I think they were 3 phenomenal singles. I don't think that, like I already said, I don't think there's anything I would have wanted different from a release than to have that sort of, it feels like Divide kind of hinted at where things were going, and then there's like the heaviest one being Forgotten, and then you have Divide in the middle of the two, and then you have Left Behind. So it just feels like a kind of scale or something like that. Anyway, I'm kind of getting off topic here. I'm going to put this on repeat. Let me know what you thought in the comments. I will link the music video for Forgotten, all of Plot's social media, merch, any sort of support links for the band will be in the description of this video. You can also find my link tree there, which will have my Patreon, my Twitch channel, which I'm going to be, it's been delayed, as some of you guys have noticed. I have not been making videos recently. I just got back to making videos. I have not been live streaming. I'm just going to be getting back into that next week. So all of that into consideration, I did not end up starting up my Twitch in the midst of all of that. But once we get settled into the schedule in the next 2 weeks or so, we'll be getting the Twitch channel started for real with all of the stuff that I have planned. And if you're interested in seeing when that goes live and everything, the Twitch channel will be there in the link tree, my Patreon with everything offered there, which also the update is coming at this point after this weekend's stream. But this weekend we will be doing, on Saturday, we'll be doing our Patreon stream revisiting some favorite songs of the year so far. And also the Discord server invite link will be there in the link tree. That is where the community is based for my YouTube channel. So if you have any interest in joining, that will be there. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it.